Yes, I'm back. This is Kevin Davis, and I'm starting again what I might begin a new series if I have time and, well, if people want it. My idea for a title or for the name of the series is Yesterday Tomorrow with Kevin Davis. I don't know what you guys think, but I kind of like it because, well, since Germany is practically tomorrow, for America, we're 8 hours ahead for most of you guys, or 10 for some, or no, nine, six. I don't know. Anyway, yesterday's tomorrow with Kevin Davis is kind of the idea that I might want to pitch for the show. Maybe, probably not every day. I don't have enough time for that, but maybe every other day, something like. Anyway, this week I'm having to, yeah, put in a little more work because my parents are up in Spokane interviewing people, religious and lay people, for our Indefectible series. So please, again, support that if you can. That can be found on Patreon, or you can email me at kevin89davis@gmail.com, and I will tell you exactly how you can contribute. Now, today, I want to talk about, well, I want to talk about one topic that's going to be kind of split up into a couple of them, and that is The Little Mermaid. And the first reason I want to talk about that is because, well, CNN has described the reactions, instant reactions of this new film, which I believe came out last weekend, as racist. So let's see what CNN has to say. So, CNN, ever since Disney released the first look for its 2023 live action remake of The Little Mermaid, the internet has been sodden with wave after wave of racist critics complaining that Ariel, the completely fictional underwater fish woman, shouldn't be black. Hashtags like "not my Ariel" are bouncing around social media, and YouTube hit the dislike counter on the official video after it was bombarded with racist comments and more than 1.5 million dislikes. Ouch. One group of critics went as far as to share a digitally altered version of the teaser that featured a white woman in place of the star's movie star Bailey, who they called a quote unquote woke actress. By now, we know it's not unusual to see racist responses whenever a person of color is cast in a role considered, quote unquote, traditionally white. While there are plenty of legitimate reasons to dislike a movie, these critics often hide their discomfort behind other thin arguments claiming historical or cultural accuracy, or, of all things, science. So let's leave that there. I can't share too much from this, and I'll discuss that why in a minute. Too much from the CNN article, that is. But it brings up, obviously, again, the issue, or the supposed issue. CNN is saying that The Little Mermaid is getting a lot of backlash because it is racist, because, well, people don't want a black actress to play a supposedly white character. Now, to be honest, for me, I don't care because I'm not really attached to the character. But I do think that, if you have typically a story that has a white character, putting a black actress in it is a little strange. It would be the same as putting a white actress in a black role, or a white actress in a Japanese role, which has actually happened and absolutely deserves critique. Now, I don't actually watch that many movies these days, but I think it is still an important thing because this topic actually has many different layers to it. And so that's why I want to cover it. And it's not because I think, it's important. The Little Mermaid is not, this cultural masterpiece or anything, but I think it actually does have topics we can talk about. One of those being racism. Now, I live here in the middle of Bavaria, and I've moved a couple times. And in the meantime, I have seen racism, full, honest to goodness racism. And I'm not saying, of course, I don't think that is the majority of Bavarians. I think that the majority of Bavarians are definitely not racist and are very respectful towards, everyone in every type of color of skin. But I actually have seen it, and I have experienced it first-handedly, not directed to me, but directed to black people. And it's gross. And I think it's something that absolutely should be called out, because I think racism is a bad thing, and it's something that we should call out, and it's something that we should absolutely not support. And I've seen it among some of maybe even my listeners here, that they think that, well, because we are white, we are superior. And no, I mean, well, look at some of the great saints. I mean, just saints that come to mind are Saint Martin de Porres, Saint Rose of Lima, Saint Mauritius, or Saint Maurice, Moritz in German. Some of the greatest saints of all time, Saint Cosmas and Damien, came from India, so they had darker skin. So were they lesser people? Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's fine if people of German ancestry, or American or British or Irish or Indian or Nigerian, I think you should be proud of where you come from. I think that is a good and healthy thing, even if the country that you come from doesn't really deserve you to be proud of it, which, well, that's pretty much everywhere in the world right now. But I think patriotism is a virtue, as we actually know from the church. It is a virtue. It is a good thing to love your country and to want, in some ways at least, to fight for it and fight for it because we want the best for it. Because if we don't want the best for it, then who will? Well, nobody, as we see today, or again around the world, nobody wants the best for their countries, or very few people. And those that do just want it something selfishly, that they want the country to become whatever is in their crazy, warped minds for it to become. So we should love our countries, we should love our ancestry, and we should, I suppose, appreciate the color of our skin. That being said, we should absolutely not be biased or racist against those who have darker skin. I mean, it's just it's a crazy thing that I feel like I have to say this, and I think I actually do, because I've seen this again on social media and elsewhere. I've seen again racism here in Bavaria. The fact that people think because, again, I'm white, I'm superior. And is there anywhere in the Bible that says be charitable to others? Oh no, except for no, sorry, it says be charitable to others only if they look like you. Be charitable to others unless they're black or dark. Now, I understand sarcasm, maybe not the perfect place. It may not be the perfect way to get my point across, but I guess it's so extreme, so crazy, so stupid that maybe sarcasm will actually work to show that this is not the Catholic way. Christ, Christ actually came to tell a primarily, I don't know white necessarily, but the Jews that, hey, you guys are wrong, and that's why I'm here. Partly, obviously, Christ was here to open the gates of heaven, but he came and he over and over again told the Jews what they were doing wrong, and part of what they were doing wrong was thinking that they were the only superior race. Tell me I'm wrong. That's it. That's why. That's what Christ said several times. Look at how he said. The faith. Little faith that he found so great is the centurion, the Roman centurion. Maybe he was a Syrian centurion. Syrian, maybe. So then maybe he was dark skinned. But oh goodness, don't say anything good about them because they don't look like us. Anyway, it's a disturbing thing that I have seen, I have witnessed with my own two eyes, and it's something we have to stop. There is real racism. Now, I would love for any of my black viewers or listeners to let me know, is this something that you also do? Are you also racist towards white people? I bet you it's probably the case. I think it is kind of a natural thing. We all kind of go into our tribes and then kind of hate on the other side. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think white people are the only racist people out there, but it exists. Anyway, this whole, the CNN saying that people are hating on this show because they have a black actress in it. Maybe that's a very small portion of it, but I don't think you actually have that many racists. I just don't. I mean, you have a few, you have a small percentage. Now, I think the bigger issue is that, well, the preview just isn't very good. It doesn't look like a very compelling movie, and it's a live action Disney film that nobody really cares about because, well, we already had a film back, I think it was made in 1989, the cartoon version. And why do we always just need to repeat all the stories that have been created? Oh, I know why. Because no one has imagination anymore. No one can think for themselves. They have to go and retread everything that's ever been created. I've heard rumors that Amazon's looking to recreate the Lord of the Rings series. And it's just like, dude, find something else. Does no one have an original thought anymore? Anyway, that's not really the topic I want to go into. I want to keep these yesterday's today with Kevin Davis to about 20 minutes long. So I want to go already into my next segment, and that is again on the same topic of the Little Mermaid. And I think again, I think as I talked about in the last one, many people are getting distracted or purposely distracted by the transgender stuff, the race stuff, the whatever else, the let's fight each other because, the global warming even. We disagree because you don't think what I think, and so I don't like you. And I'm going to tell you a real simple reason why Catholics shouldn't watch The Little Mermaid, and I certainly hope none of you have, is because, well, let me see. It is a half naked, half woman fish lady who sells her soul to the devil for love. Yeah, that's what do I need to say more? I mean, am I wrong here? This is one of the crazy things that I know my parents fortunately didn't let us watch that movie growing up. I think at some point I watched it. I don't know where or when or how or with whom, but I did watch it, and I remember parts of it, and it's even pretty dark and disturbing. But it's also immediately immoral because it has a half naked fish woman. That's it. That's it, guys. That's what do I need to say more? Our kids should absolutely not be watching this film and should be nowhere near it. They should not be, rooting for this character. They should not be knowing about this character, and they should be definitely doing something more wholesome. Now, I do want to say that, of course, I am not an expert. I am not a moral theologian. I'm not a moral guide. If you actually have questions about this type of stuff, please go to your priest and ask them. This is just my opinion, which, of course, I could be wrong. Happens sometimes, believe it or not. But this one I'm pretty sure about because, again, yeah, I'm clear of modesty and clearly not something we want our little girls or boys to be seeing. I mean, it's not something that if our little girls or boys, again, are watching, half naked women in their cartoons or in their live action films, for goodness sake, then they're going to think, first of all, that that's fine. When they're children, they think, hey, this is how we should dress because, hey, this is one of my heroes. Then maybe I should be a mermaid, that doesn't dress properly, which of course is strange and bizarre and not something we should wish for. But on top of that, again, part of the main part of the story is that the title character, Ariel, is unhappy with her father and whatever else is going on because she's a spoiled little brat. Great, great for kids. That, by the way, let's give them the heroine who's terrible and doesn't do anything good pretty much throughout the entire story. And add on to that she is such a terrible reprobate that she goes and decides to again sell her soul to a character in order to get her voice so that or no, I'm sorry, in order to get legs so that she can go and visit her true love on the mainland. Does that sound like something that your kids should be watching? Um I mean, I really hope this is not something that I have to expound on a whole lot more. I mean, this is pretty clearly something that we shouldn't be seeing, and it just and it's something we talk about over and over. Just because it says Disney in front of it, I'm not. I'm going to go a step further. It's not even just because it says Disney doesn't mean you should trust it. I would say just because it says Disney, you should not trust it. It's the reason why you shouldn't trust it. They have a long track record of creating filth, absolute garbage, to wreck our children's minds. So no, what are we doing? It's our vocation as parents. We may work whatever we work. Maybe we work 3 or 4 jobs. Maybe our wives do too. That's just work. That is literally an aid to furthering our vocation, which is raising our children and helping save their souls, ours too, and our spouses as well. Our children are a big part of that, a big part of our vocation, major part of it. And that vocation is to save their souls and to care for them. Firstly, to care for their souls. And if that's our main vocation and we're letting them go and watch a movie where a half naked mermaid is selling her soul to a devil, wake up. We can't allow this kind of stuff. This is ridiculous. This is so far over the top. It blows my mind. Can you imagine if the Legion of Decency was around? What would they say? They'd give it F, fail, cannot watch under pain of, well, I'll let a priest decide what that is. And so the question here again is not should we not watch this because there's some black lady playing what might be a white mermaid? I mean, come on. Why do we make these the points? Why are these the issues? Black versus white. Really? To go back to racism. I mean, if you want to talk about the issue in terms of who should be allowed into your own country. I mean, who should we fight? Who should be let in? Now, I think there is an argument for different cultures and surely for different religions just being allowed to run amok. That's something that Catholic Western world fought for 1500 years, and now, of course, Europe just allows a certain religion in through the gates freely to control whatever they can and to, well, set their own marks on society. And it's tragic and heartbreaking. And it has nothing to do with their skin at all. There are many people from the East and from Africa who are better men and women than I am, by far. Just an example of some of the people I've had on this podcast. Father, now Bishop in Kamake, Father Thomas Oyeka. Just incredible stories, incredible men, holy, smart, wise. But they're black. Guys, wake up. That's not how we should live. This is not how we should act. It's disturbing that it has to be said. And again, this idea of letting our children watch tripe garbage produced to be immoral, to lead our children's souls astray. Tell me otherwise. Tell me otherwise. Why do they make it? Why else would you make it? Why would you make a film? Why would you continually, as a production company, make films that are purposely, their entire story is to show that children should not trust their parents. The children should rebel. Parents are the bad guys. Immoral dress is fine. It's enough. Again, I'm no moral guide, but I hope these types of shows can show you to think about it a little bit, and then go talk to your priest. Please go talk to your priest. Hey, Father so and so, do you think I should bring my kids to watch The Little Mermaid? You want me to tell you what their answer is going to be? If your priest says yes, then I don't know about that. I don't think they would. Even your liberal types might at least have a little bit of a problem with it. Maybe not. Some things we need to set clearly as standards. This cannot be. This cannot happen. It is our vocation. And men, remember, our vocation also extends to be leaders in society. Pope Pius XII asked us this specifically. The last true pope told us that if we do not lead society, if we don't take positions of power, if we don't stand up and fight, then the fight is lost. And we see it. We see it everywhere. The fight we're losing it everywhere. I see it in Germany. I see the fight being lost to a religion that Europe fought for 1500 years. It's done. The fight was given up. It's another reason not to be racist, because what's worse? And I mean this sincerely. What is worse? The people who attack or the defenders who give up? Think about that. Did we give up? Did our parents or grandparents? Why is our world like it is right now? That's the tragedy. The only thing we can do is fight. Fight. Not with guns. But to change ourselves one step at a time, boycott, tell Disney, I'm done with you. You're not getting any more money from me. Tell your friends, tell their friends. Maybe if we do that enough, we will make them pay enough that they will finally learn, and all they care about is money. Well, mostly. They care about it enough that they'll make decisions for it. And if that's enough for them, if they care too much about money, then the bottom dollar is what matters. So tell them we've had enough, no more. And then maybe, just maybe, we or our children or grandchildren we'll see a better, more Catholic society that just possibly, with God's help and a few miracles along the way, we might just be able to enthrone Christ the King again in America, Germany, and all throughout the West, perhaps the whole world. And it starts at home, it starts with us. So let's not be racist and let's avoid Disney at all costs. Till next time.